All right. Thanks everyone for joining me for today's session of our free 1 hour live AWS hands-on demos. Um, what else? I think everyone is pretty much familiar. If you're new, it's okay to be new to this live sessions on Sundays. There's a YouTube playlist, like I always say every week. You can still stay. Repetition always is always a good thing. You watch it now, you watch it later. The more you watch it, the easier it becomes to understand. So don't worry. All of the previous sessions they are on YouTube. Okay. This is week what? Who can remind me on the chat? This is week what? Week 13. There you go, Ayodeji. Thanks. Week 13. Okay, so we haven't gone too far. Okay. Some of you might be coming with some cloud experience already. That's great. All you're just looking for is more hands-on, to remove that, interview fear or that on-the-job fear of, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? That's why these sessions are here. I'm a full-time solutions architect, right? This is what I do for a living. So part of this is to, give advice, mentor people, and build a community as well, right? Where we can share knowledge, share ideas, and things like that. As you can already tell from me doing these sessions, teaching is a passion of mine. Teaching is a passion of mine. I love teaching. I love teaching. I love reading. I love learning, and I love, teaching back and giving back to the community. What else? So yes, don't worry. Sessions is live on YouTube. Just watch that after this session and catch up. If there's anything here that doesn't make sense, don't worry. If you watch my previous sessions, things will start to make a lot of sense. Is everyone logged into the AWS console? Anyone logged into the AWS console? Type 1 if you're logged in. Remember, these sessions are not for just watching, right? They're for what? Making sure that you actually do these hands-on, right? We've all watched those video courses where we just, watch the videos and we, take practice questions and we pass the exam, right? Without much hands-on experience. This one is for you to actually get hands-on, okay? So if you're joining this session, I highly, highly encourage you that you please log into the AWS console, and try to test, these things out yourself. At the end of the sessions, I have about 10 minutes, not very often, but I have space for two people to ask questions. That's part of the career Q&A for this session. So you have that time at the end of this demo session to ask your question. I just remember I'm not sharing my screen. Let me go ahead and give me 1 second before I share my screen, actually. I want to pull something up real quick. All right, I think I got it. Okay, all right, there's the screen I want to share. Okay, let's get some confirmations. Can everyone see my screen? Open my chat. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, okay, good, awesome. All right, guys. So you're the solutions architect at your company, and now you can do a lot of great stuff, right? You can do a lot of, really cool stuff. Your management is happy with you. You're getting the project, done just like that. You know how to go and find your answers if you're lost. Google, YouTube, Stack Overflow, right? Now you got a hang of it, right? I mean, we're still getting there. There's still, more things to learn and more things for you to bring to the table, in your company, for your different projects. One of the things we want to talk about today is, we already talked about this before, right? We want to add that to the, should I say, equation, or to the project that we've been doing so far with our demo app, right? So now, like I'll advise anyone, right? If you want to run a web application on AWS, I strongly, yes, and I'm using the word strongly, I strongly recommend you consider leveraging CloudFront. Okay. There's some security benefits to using CloudFront, and I know some of you might have been hearing a lot about CloudFront, used to, cache static content and, it's used for dynamic content as well, right? If you have a dynamic web application, it's good to also put CloudFront in front of that, right? And one of the key benefits, right, that I always look at when I'm although the biggest one is it brings your content closer to your users, and then it reduces the latency and all that. But look at this right here that I highlighted, guys. Look. It also helps with common network and application layer attacks, right? Um, with CloudFront, apart from us just trying to reduce latency, there are other security benefits as well, right? For application layer attacks, it's more of using web application firewall. But there are things like, I can't remember if it's here, scene, let me see. Maybe it's not here, but here, I don't want to say it the wrong way. It's in, I think it's in the, hi, who's that?
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to remember.
Right, thank you. Here, scene flood attacks, right? So CloudFront helps with scene flood attacks, as well as some UDP type attacks as well. So if you know what those means, just know at a high level. I know this is talking about Shield, but Shield is kind of like you get Shield when you that's the normal Shield, okay? And I'm not gonna go full details into Shield today. There's Shield Advanced and there's regular Shield. So regular Shield, protects from, like we just mentioned, network and some UDP SYN flood attacks. So that's a benefit that you can get to leveraging CloudFront for your application, because Shield is already part of it to help with those those types of attacks. Now, by saying DDoS, right, in my flyer, I'm not saying that CloudFront will help protect against all types of DDoS, okay? Some types, right? SIM flood, some UDP, something like that. When I find the exact link that I'm looking for, these are not the ones, but I'll perhaps share it on the Telegram channel. But just keep that in mind, that there are these other benefits of some sort of DDoS protection when you use CloudFront in front of your application. Okay, let's just keep it as simple as that. You get some level of DDoS protection, right? And those are the common network layer type attacks. And using CloudFront in front of your applications can help you, like filter out those malicious traffic. So let's get right into it. We'll take our application and we'll do the normal thing we've done every week, right? We'll host it on an EC2 instance. We'll put it in front of a load balancer. And then beyond the load balancer, I know last week we stopped at the load balancer, but what are we going to add today? Add CloudFront in front of that, right? And in my architectural diagram that I showed you guys, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I put that whole diagram up there, and we were able to see, we had load balancer and then we had CloudFront. Now that's kind of like what we're trying to build today, right? We're going to be using CloudFront in front of the load balancer. And as you all know, let me ask you guys in the chat so far, from what you've heard me say so far, why would you want to use CloudFront in front of your applications? Why would you want to use CloudFront? Give me some benefits apart from latency. You can just say it in one word. Anybody? Security, right? To make the application more secure. Caching is a big part, but again, what we're looking for now is protection, right? From common network layer or some application layer DDoS attacks. Okay? I want to be careful saying application layer, because I know for application layer, we should be looking more of integrating the AWS WAF. But with that said, I'll share that article with you guys that talks about the security benefits of using CloudFront. That way you get, more of the actual terminologies, the real terminologies in there of how it protects your application. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and launch an instance. Okay, I'm going to click on launch instance. Okay. Hopefully we'll be done before 12 today. Okay, and we'll have enough time for questions. All right. Go ahead and select Amazon Linux 2 like we've always done. Okay. Amazon Linux 2, T2 micro. Yes, that's what we want. Configure instance details. See what I'm doing? Okay, we only want one. Default VPC 1A. Okay, let's choose our availability zone 1A. Let's choose our S3 and SSM role. Shutdown behavior, terminate. Okay. What else? What else? Okay, let's add our script here. Let me see. Do I have mine already open? I do. Okay. And then paste. Okay. I hope I don't have to explain this. I know some people are like, just move on, just move on. We already we do this every day, right? I know some people are new. If you've watched the previous videos, me pasting this here will make sense to you, okay? But don't worry again. After today, catch up by watching the previous sessions, and everything will start to make sense. Okay, trust me. Please share the script, please. It's in the if I paste it in the chat, it doesn't usually come out right, because things have to be on separate lines. But there is, I'm gonna paste it, and you have to change this right here to be the name of your bucket. Remember, guys? Okay, change that right here to be the name of your bucket. That's the name of my bucket. But I'm pasting in the chat now. If someone can paste the link to the Google Drive, I appreciate that. But there, I'm pasting it in the chat also, if you need it. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and add storage. Okay. 8 gig is fine. We're not going to change that. Let's go ahead and add tags. Put a tag of name, web server there, name, and the value of web server. Okay. Let's configure security group. Select an existing one. Guys, which one am I going to use? Quickly. Nee, thanks for posting that. Which one am I going to use? Which one am I going to use? Is Aminu here? Is Ronnie here? What am I going to use in the chat? I'm waiting for you guys. Which security group should I use? This is my web server.
AWS.
Very good. Thank you. All right, moving on. Review and launch. So you guys can see what we have opened here. But guess what? We're not opening to 0.0.0.0. You guys understand why. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, let's move on. Review and launch. Review and launch. Yes, go ahead and click continue. Okay. Review everything. Launch. Okay, I have my key pair. Choose your own key pair that you have in there. Launch instance. Now it's gonna start launching. Let me go ahead and click on that. Okay, to bring me to my console. Now let's go to our load balancer, guys. Let's click on our load balancer. Create a load balancer. Okay, let's create a load balancer. Create load balancer. Okay, and now let's click on create application load balancer. Okay, of course, we're not going to talk about what a load balancer is. You guys already know, right, from previous weeks. Let's give it a name, like we've always done. ELB, test ELB, right? Test ELB. Okay. Of course, we want to choose all the availability zones in this region. So our load balancer can work in any of those regions in the future in case we deploy any applications to any of those regions and we need to use our load balancer with it. Server, I mean, to any of these regions. So that's that, guys. Make sure you add the name, leave everything else as default, and just check all the AZs. And then click on configure security settings. Okay, don't worry about this error message. We're going to add HTTPS later, so go ahead and click on configure security groups. Okay, what security group, guys? Quickly. Very good. Hiba, thanks. Load balancer security group. Load balancer security group. All right, let's go ahead and click on configure routing. Okay, so now it's gonna so which resources do we want to route this to? What's the target group? Of course, our target is our what? Is our EC2 instance that we just launched. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this test target group. Okay, yes, it's an instance. Leave everything else as default. Again, in this advanced health check settings, I'm just gonna put 2. Okay. What else, guys? What else? Let's go ahead and register targets. Okay. Now let's add the EC2 instance that we have. Okay, let's add the EC2 instance that we already created. And now when we check it, we have to make sure we click on add to registered. Okay, don't just check it and click on next. Okay, that has happened to me before, right? I just checked on this and then I clicked on review, and then it took me a lot of a while to figure out that I needed to had clicked on add to registered. Okay, so I'm saving you that headache right now. Make sure you click on add to registered, and then you see it come up here, and then you're good to go. Okay, and then click on next review. Okay, that's done. Load balancer is created. It has a target group that it routes request to. What else, guys? ACM. Let's get our certificate, right? To make our website also HTTPS, right? To make it secure and make sure that anything that we're sending to the client or the client is sending to us is on an encrypted channel, right? So for example, if your web application needs to send credit card numbers and all that, your connection is secure. Okay, your connection is secure. HTTPS. Like you can see, almost every website has this padlock. That's what we also want for our application. So guys, from last week, where am I supposed to go now? I'm going to open a new tab. Where should I be going, guys? Where should I be going? In the chat, real quick. Come on, I know you guys know this. Very good. Hiba again. Okay, Hiba has 10 points. Fastest finger first from now on. You get points. These points are just points, okay? But they're good to have. All right, so fastest finger for first we'll start getting points from now on. Okay, good. Hiba, certificate, certificate manager. Let's see. I don't even have to type everything. I think if I just put, there you go, certificate manager. Certificate manager. Okay, guys, let's request. I know some of you, you might see a splash screen first. You have 2 options. Choose the one on the left. Okay, if you don't see this immediately, choose the one on the left. Okay, for a public certificate, you will see 2 options. One button on the left here, and one button on the right here. So make sure you choose the one on the left. Okay, and then you should be able to see this screen, I believe. All right, now moving on. Let's request a certificate. Oh, I already have a certificate here. Let me delete this from before. Delete, and then we can do it again. Okay, here you go. We have the same thing now, right? So I'm going to click on get started. Okay, get started. Request a public certificate. Yes, that's what I want to do. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and click on request a certificate. Okay, now guys, here's what we want to do. Well, we all remember this from last class, right? Reason why we're going to use a star, right? So that we can use www or whatever we want to put in front of that before our root domain. Okay, so yescertified.com. Right? You hear a lot of time people will say root domain. Root domain is your actual domain. Okay, and anything before that, who can tell me what anything before that is called? If this is your actual domain that you have, like you're the owner of this domain, anything here that you want to use, maybe you want to put test.yourdomain.com. What are these called? Who can tell me in the chat? Wow, Shahid, very good. Subdomains, very good. Now I want us to add something else here. Okay, let's add also our actual domain. Okay, which is what? AWS. Let me add AWS here. Okay, Control C, paste that here. Okay, now I'm using a domain that I own. Okay, you also use your own domain. I hope that's clear. Okay, don't use this when you're creating your certificate, please. I bought this domain from Route 53. You might have bought yours from GoDaddy. If you watch the previous sessions, this will make sense. So please do not use this. This is a domain that I own. Okay, that's why I'm requesting a certificate for it. So use a domain that I know many of you here did buy a domain, so you're able to follow. I hope many of you also were able, to at least get a domain, because this is good. This is things that you can just show on your portfolio, right? As you're looking for jobs, you're using these weeks, to list as projects that you're doing, that you've done. So I do encourage it. It's $12 a year or $13 a year. Try to buy a domain, right? And so that you're also able to follow. I really want everyone in this chat or watching this video to be able to actually do this. So If you're able to afford it, I highly recommend it. Okay, so moving on. So that's that. Let's go ahead and click on next. Okay, let's go ahead and click on next. DNS validation. You guys know why this is, right? So let's go ahead and click on next now. I'm not gonna put a tag. Let's go ahead and click on review. Okay, let me make sure spelling is correct. Spelling is correct. You got to be careful with your spelling as well. Don't miss a letter. It's not gonna work if you do. All right, confirm and request, guys. Confirm and request. Okay, it's pending validation. What do I need to do from here, guys? Well, let me see if anyone here knows. What do I need to do from here to confirm? What do I need to do? Think about what we did last week, right? And this makes it easy, right? Clicking a button, right? I just need to expand this and click this button, and Route 53 will take care of putting that in my record, right? Create. It'll put it in my Route 53. Also for this one, create. It'll put in my Route 53. But if you have GoDaddy, then you have to go and put these values in your GoDaddy. Okay, but here we bought ours in Route 53. We don't have to do that. All right, go ahead and click on continue. This should take a few seconds, a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, and we'll have our certificate issued to us. All right, so let's just wait. Let's wait. Refresh. Oh, look at that. A few seconds. Issued. Now, before I move on, I know that, well, that wasn't really a lot because, we kind of did most of this last class, right? So tell me in the chat, tap the number 3 if you're following me so far. I want to see about 15 people type the number 3. It's like, no, of course, I'm not going to wait for 15 people. Good. Can I see more? Very good. Okay. There you go. Awesome. Excellent. All right. Now, moving on. Where do we go now? Route 53. Actually, let's see if our instance is even working first. Let's see if our web application is up and running first, right? Before we go and so this is the load balancer, right? This is the load balancer. Let's see if it works. Let me put in a browser. Is it gonna load my website? Okay, good. But what do you guys notice here? Not secure. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that for now. Okay, and of course we don't want to be using this. We want to use our custom domain. Why? Because we already bought a domain now, and we want this website, this beautiful looking website right here, right? We want it to be we don't want to be giving people this address. We want to give them our custom domain, and we're gonna do that in after we're done setting that up. All right, guys, I think we're good with certificate. I can close that, or I can just use that to go to my what service now, guys? What service now? Not Route 53. What service do I need to go now to provide some extra protection for my web application? I want to protect it from common SYN flood and UDP attacks. What am I going to use? CloudFront. Very good. That's where we're going to go now. CloudFront. Okay, we want to put CloudFront in front of this. I must tell you guys, months back when I was trying to set this up, oh my God, headache, right? Of course, not like headache, but I mean, I had to, troubleshoot. It took me days, right? But even after using what I found on Stack Overflow, it just would not work, right? When I go to my CloudFront, it will keep trying to, change my URL into my load balancer URL, right? And what else was I also getting? So just different types of error messages. But today, hopefully, we do it one time. And we use our load balancer, and we use our CloudFront, and we're using HTTPS for both, and it works, right? So fingers crossed. I have tested this. I have tested it before. It worked, but again, troubleshooting is part of these sessions. Okay, so if we finish it doesn't work, don't worry. We'll try to troubleshoot together, and hopefully, at the end of the day, we'll get it done. Okay, but this should save you a lot of headache on the job if you have been tasked to do something like this, right? You want to make sure that your viewer, your end customers, you want them to use HTTPS to get to your application, right? Now, it's one thing to use HTTPS to get to CloudFront, And it's another thing to use HTTPS to get from CloudFront to your origin, which is our load balancer, right? So there are 2 steps in here, guys. Now, some people can say, let me see, should I use my whiteboard here? I think it'll make a lot of sense to use my whiteboard, okay? This is very important, guys. This is very, very important. Very, very important, okay? Very, very important. Now, your end customers, guys, your end customers, let's say there is 1 million people from all over the world, right? There's 1 million people that are gonna, look at your website, right? They're all on their computers, right? Now your website is behind CloudFront, behind load balancer. The load balancer, has your EC2 instances that it routes your request to. Your application sits in this machines right here, and these machines have EBS volumes, right? I hope you didn't forget that, have their EBS volumes. Now this is our load balancer, right? And this is our CloudFront. Let's just use CF for CloudFront, right? So your customers will go through CloudFront, and then they get that, DDoS protection here, right? Like, let's just put security, DDoS security, right? So now, some people, and it's okay to do, but due to some, compliance standards, some companies want HTTPS from here all the way to where? To here, right? And sometimes even to your instances. But I don't think this is necessary, to be honest, right? But again, if there's a compliance standard you're trying to achieve, right, then you need to, that says, it has to be HTTPS end to end, right? That's fine. But today we're not going to do this one because this is really not common. Once you're able to terminate the HTTPS here, that's fine. Okay. Now, here's what I'm trying to get at, guys. HTTPS to CloudFront, fine, we're going to do, right? We're going to put that certificate, we're going to put it here. I'm just going to put ACM here, right? And this is good because now when people go to your website, it's going to give you what? It's going to be HTTPS, right? But again, compliance standards sometimes say no, from CloudFront, and this is within the AWS network, guys. This is a trusted network. So that's why for some, this is also secure, right? If you're not using HTTPS from your CloudFront to your load balancer, it is secure. But again, due to some compliance standards, they'll tell you we do want HTTPS from CloudFront to load balancer as well. So that's fine. We're going to do that as well, and then we're going to have our certificate also put here, right? And why are some companies like that, or why are some compliance standards like that? Because they're thinking that you might have some internal users, right? Some of your administrators. What if some of your administrators are rogue, right? What if they're going to try to, their internal users, and then they can just easily, sniff into traffic they're not supposed to and get in your information in plain text here, right? Along this route, right? So again, if that's a concern for you, then I would say yes, do this lab exactly the way we're going to do it today by also using your certificate at your load balancer so that your connection from your CloudFront to your load balancer would also be what? Would also be HTTPS instead of just HTTP. That's a lot, guys. Before I move on, tell me in the chat, does this make any sense? Tap the number 2 if this makes sense. If this makes some sense. Okay, very good. I'm glad. All right, moving on. Moving on. Okay, let's create a distribution, guys. Don't worry, I'm just in my CloudFront. If you don't know where to find CloudFront, go ahead and click on CloudFront here. Okay, click on CloudFront. Okay, and that's how I got here. Click on create distribution, guys. Click on create distribution. Okay, click on get started. Origin domain name. What is our origin going to be, guys? Come on, I need you guys to help me out here. Who's going to get the next 10 points? What's our origin going to be? Load balancer. Very good. Our load balancer that we created. We don't need an origin path. We want everything to be covered, by CloudFront. What else here? Leave everything else as default. Origin protocol policy. Let's read this. Select whether you want CloudFront to connect to your origin, meaning our load balancer, using only HTTPS, or connect by matching the protocol used by the viewer. Let me stop there, guys. I want you guys to tell me. Now, let's say at your company, you're under some type of strict compliance standard, right? Maybe it's PCI DSS or FedRAMP, or I don't know, some other compliance standard in some other country that says that from CloudFront to your origin, it could be a load balancer, it could be an EC2 instance, we want HTTPS. What should we choose in this origin protocol policy? Ah, very good. Adeji, you got 10 points. Okay, very good. HTTPS. There you go. HTTPS. CloudFront, to load balancer, HTTPS. All right, very good. Now moving on, what else do we want to change here? Viewer protocol policy. What about our viewers? If someone types http yourwebsite.com, what should we try to do here to get them to only use HTTPS? What should we do here, guys? Very good. That was very fast. Astu and Amani, good job. We want to redirect, right? We're saying here, anybody that's trying to go to our website, maybe our website, we sell clothes, or it's a banking website. Anybody come to our website, you're not going to use HTTP. We don't allow that. That's not secure, right? We want to use this HTTPS, which is more secure, right? So in that case, even if you type HTTP or your browser, change to HTTP, CloudFront will redirect that, right? It will say redirect HTTP to HTTPS. So that's what we want, all right? We want HTTP to HTTPS, right? So that's what we're going to choose. If you choose HTTPS only, now you get this error message, right? Where your customers will be getting some type of error message. I don't know the exact number. So there's some type of error message, and also you can customize those error messages using CloudFront, but we're not gonna go there today. Okay, so let's just say here, redirect HTTP to HTTPS. Okay, so good. All right, what else, guys? Field level encryption, no. Policy, no. Now, for policy, let me see here. I want us to go to use legacy cache settings. Did you see what I just did, guys? You guys had this before, user cache policy and origin request policy. But here's what I want to do. Use legacy cache settings. Okay, now this is very important, right? I want to save us some time here. Otherwise, I was planning to not do this and have us troubleshoot together, and I can tell you what the answer is. Now, if we do not do this, guys, there's something we need to whitelist here. And the reason why we're whitelisting is because if you do this and you test at the end, your browser will try to return your load balancer URL. Okay, your browser will try to return your load balancer URL, which is not good, right? We don't want to expose our load balancer URL, right? Of course, you guys have seen my load balancer URL in this case, so I'm just gonna, act like we didn't say, but it's okay. It's all demo. Everything's gonna be, deleted at the end of this session, right? But now I want someone to tell me here. I don't know if you've done this before. I don't know if you. Oh my God, that's my answer right there. You guys already know the answer. I was gonna ask you guys, what do we need to whitelist here to avoid that type of error? Okay, just say it in the chat, guys. Just what should we whitelist? Okay, host. All right. So here, some of you might have none. Okay, I want you to change that to whitelist. How did I know this? Stack Overflow. Right? Remember I told you when I did this a long time ago and I had to troubleshoot. I found the answer in one of the responses to a web Stack Overflow question. Right? Some of the answers also say whitelist origin and referrer. Right? And here's what I want to add something to here, guys. You are solutions architects. In your company, you have developers, right? And this can also be tagged as web developers. When you have a case where you need to use CloudFront, I want you to actually work together with your developers. Okay, again, remember, not all solutions architects have development background, and that's completely fine. I don't have a development background, okay, but I do have some experience with programming, right? So I want you guys to actually sit with web developers and look at what best suits your needs, right? Your web developers will probably have more understanding of, like headers and like cache control and things like that, right? But in this case, I'm just going to tell you, for some of the answers that I found, it says to whitelist this as well. But I noticed in my testing, as someone also said, like just whitelisting the host header resolve that issue of your browser trying to take you to your load balancer URL and direct you that way. So instead of just going directly using your custom URL, it just pops up your load balancer URL. And so here we're gonna whitelist the host header. And don't Ronnie, if you have anything to add to here, don't worry. At the end of the session, please chime in, and add to this if you want to. Okay, if you'd like to. All right, so guys, that's pretty much it. Now, this is we can't change anything here, right? We cannot change anything here because of, let me see. Let me go back up. If I use customize, right? So if I use customize, I can change this, right? But in this case, guys, I want us to assume this is a dynamic web application, and we're not actually using it to cache any content, right? We just want the additional benefit of using CloudFront. And again, I'll post in the Telegram channel because I'm actually not doing justice to mentioning all the benefits that you're getting with CloudFront, which is dynamic application. So I'll post in the Telegram channel the article that I'm looking for, and you guys will find in there the points that I really want you to to take home with this CloudFront implementation in front of our dynamic web application. And part of that also is it's about reducing the handshake. Something about reducing the handshake from CloudFront to your origin, right? Whereby it doesn't have to establish a TCP connection every time, right? So part of the benefit of CloudFront that is that when it establishes it, it just keeps using the same one, something like that. Just keep that in mind, if you know what that really means. That makes sense to me in some sense, but for those of you that are new, that might not make a lot of sense. But again, I think the article will be a good read for all of you. Okay, so again, it kind of, just think of it as also reduces some type of helps with reducing time in getting to your application. Okay, part of it is latency, but part of it is also something called a handshake, right? When establishing that connection from your users to where your application resides. Okay. Oh, now again, we don't actually want to change this because we're not caching anything. We're not using it to cache anything. We're just using it for the extra benefit that it provides. I think that's pretty much it for now. Okay, we've added. Please make sure you do this before I move on. I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. How many of you have whitelisted your host header? How many of you have whitelisted host? Type the number 7 in the chat. You're following me so far. You've also done this whitelisting host header part. Okay, very good, very good. I like what I'm seeing. Sylvia, Ayodeji, Astu, Grace. Who else? Who else? Come on, there has to be more people. We're waiting for you guys. Just 2 more. It came just before people. Is Aminu here? Is Rotimi here? Are you guys lost? Is Heba here? Can everyone see my chat? Oh, I figured. Okay, Rotimi is lost. It's okay, Rotimi. Just watch the video again. And catch. I couldn't catch up. It's okay. It's okay. Your certificate. Okay, I see. Don't worry. We're not actually using the certificate now. But don't worry. Again, you guys can watch the video later on. Let's just move along with those that are, just continue to watch. Okay, and once you repeat this later, when your certificate is done and other things are set up, then you should be able to get this done. I'll ask you guys next week if you're able to get this done. Okay, but let's move on. All right. What else? There's nothing here. Whitelist that host header. Redirect HTTP to HTTPS. What else? HTTPS only. If we set this up now, this is not gonna work because we haven't added HTTPS to our load balancer. Just keep that in mind that we have to do that next. Okay, we have to do that next. All right. Leave everything else as default. Okay, and in here, for CloudFront, we want to use our custom domain names. So we're gonna have to add every domain name we added in our certificate exactly the same way. We're gonna add it here, guys. Okay. So I'm on the distribution settings now, guys. I'm on the distribution settings. And what I want us to do here in alternate domain names is to do what? Is to add star the yes certified star dot yes certified aws.com, put a comma, and then put the other one that we also added, yes certified aws.com. Okay. And then here we're not going to use the default CloudFront certificate because we're not trying to use a CloudFront URL. Okay, remember also with CloudFront we don't want to give people this address and say, hey, go and look at, this is our website, go take a look at it, this is how you can get to our web application, right? We want to use something custom, so that's why we're going to choose what? Custom SSL certificate. And in here our certificate, if it's completed, should pop up. Okay, and I'm going to check that. Okay, I want to use that certificate that I created in AWS Certificate Manager. And then that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Okay, leave the distribution state as enabled. Distribution state is enabled. Okay, distribution state is enabled. All right, just making sure. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna click on create distribution, guys. Create distribution. Now, as my distribution is creating, I want to go to where should we go now, guys? We said origin should use HTTPS. So where should we go now? Where should we go now? S3 log is the request that is made to your CloudFront. Do you want to log those requests, right? Who's making requests to your CloudFront? So if you want to log any of those requests, Grace, then you can configure S3 logs. But here we're not configuring those logs, okay? So if your company says, hey, whatever request is being made to CloudFront, we want you to log it in a bucket. So it's very easy, just right there in that console. You can also do it after. Make sure you already create an S3 bucket and then give it that S3 bucket to put all of those access logs. Okay, and if you want to see what CloudFront logs contains, just put it in Google, CloudFront logs, and then you should see some link that will show you what AWS logs and what CloudFront logs for those requests. I think there are about 15 of them or more, but I don't know them at the top of my head. Guys in the chat, where should I go now? If we're saying HTTPS from CloudFront to load balancer, what should we go change now? What settings should we go change now? Not RAF53. Amani, nice try. Not RAF53. I know someone will get it now. Come on, guys. Think. Where should we go now? Server, no. Shahid, good. Load balancer, guys. Load balancer. If you're saying CloudFront to use HTTPS to get to your origin, in this case, our origin is our load balancer, because our load balancer in front of sometimes your origin can be your EC2, but in this case, our origin is our load balancer, okay? So if your company says, okay, from yes, CloudFront load balancer is all within AWS network trusted, but no, we do want HTTPS also from CloudFront to load balancer, so make that HTTPS connection as well. So we have to go to the load balancer now, right, and give it that certificate so that what? CloudFront and load balancer can have that what? HTTPS encrypted traffic. Okay. So let's go to load balancer now. Okay, let's go to load balancer, and that is in EC2. Let's go to EC2. All right, click on EC2. Click on EC2. Don't worry, for many of you that are not following, we'll have some time at the end so that you can ask your questions. Okay. Whatever is confusing to you, just ask me, and hopefully I'll be able to help answer you. Or Ronnie can chime in as well. Okay. Load balancer. Okay, load balancer. All right, listeners, we only had HTTP. Okay, so now let's go ahead and edit. Check this, guys. I hope you're not lost. I'm in load balancer description. I clicked on listeners. Okay, let's go ahead and click on this one, HTTP, and click on edit. Okay, click on edit. All right, let's delete this because it won't allow us edit this. Let's delete this. Delete this. Okay, delete that, and then click on add action, guys. Click on add action. What should we do? Here's HTTP, right? When people do HTTP, what do you want to send them to? You guys should remember this from last time. guys? Who's gonna get my next 10 points? What are we choosing? Forward to or redirect to? Redirect to. Very good, very good. And what number are we gonna put here? What number are we gonna put here? I'm talking too fast. What number are we gonna put here? Very good, very good. 443. All right, that's it. Go ahead and click on update. Okay, but now we have to create that HTTPS listener. If we're gonna say redirect to HTTPS, we haven't created an HTTPS listener, so that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, we're gonna click. We're gonna let me start talking too fast, and I'm talking too fast because of the time. I really want to finish at 12 o'clock. Okay, let me slow down. Now we're redirecting to HTTPS. Okay, but remember, we haven't created the HTTPS listener, so let's go back and create the HTTPS listener. Okay, so make sure you click on update and you get this message: successfully modified listener on port 80. Now let's go back. Now under listeners again, click on add listener now. Add listener. Okay, and what are we adding, guys? HTTPS 443. Yep, add action. Forward to. Okay, forward to what? Our target group. Okay, 100%. Okay, what else? What else? What else? And that's it. That's it. No, what's missing, guys? Let me not. I may have given a hint. What's missing now? Look, I cannot click on add listener. Something is missing. And you can unmute to say this if you want to. Okay, what's missing? I'm saying here I want to use HTTPS. ACM cert, Ronnie. Very good. All right, guys, just check here. Default SSL certificate. Check here. We already created one. Let's choose that. Okay, and now you can see I can click on this add listener. Okay, click on add listener. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and click on, let's go back. All right, so now we have both set up. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. Let's go and check. Is our CloudFront completed? Where's our CloudFront? This is EC2. This is load balancer. Let's go now to CloudFront. Let's go down to CloudFront. Deployed. Deployed. What do you call this? Something moment. I forgot the word. Right. So here's the time we need to test and see if this works. And you guys know I like to keep you in suspense here, right? Because this can either go good or it can either go what? Bad, right? It's not working and we have to troubleshoot. All right, guys, it's time to test. Is this gonna work? Right? We're saying HTTPS from our viewers to CloudFront. We're also saying HTTPS from CloudFront to our load balancer. Right? Is this going to work? Our CloudFront here says this has now been deployed. Okay, status is deployed. Who else has deployed? Give me the number 5 if you have deployed in your CloudFront. For those that were, okay, Grace. Who else? Is Jumoke here? I haven't seen that name in a while. Ronnie, good. Ronnie has 5. Who else has 5 here? For those of you that there were like 4 people that typed 7 earlier. Anybody else with a 5? My CloudFront has deployed. We're gonna test now. Really? Others got lost as well? Okay, so now I only have Grace and Ronnie. Don't worry if you got lost. Again, it's all about watching it again. Okay, just start from the beginning. You might have missed a step or something like that. And hopefully once you do this again, I do hope and I do want all of you to actually test this and make sure it works. Oh, I still has a 5. Okay, good. Now, who has tested their website and it works? Who has tested their website? Or who else is, who is getting, okay, Ronnie says it works. All right, fingers crossed for mine as well. I'm going to use an incognito browser. I'm going to use an incognito window. Okay. Wait, what are we doing, guys? We're missing a step. Who can tell me what step we're missing? Maybe Ronnie, you didn't delete some. Exactly, Amani, great job. I was gonna, but I was gonna type my domain in there, but who's gonna route to that domain? Route 53, guys. Let's not forget that. Okay, let me open a new tab so I can create a record in my Route 53, guys. Okay, let me go to Route 53. Okay, that would have been a big step we would have missed. Okay, I have a hosted zone. Okay, good. I have a hosted zone. All right. Okay, and we know that CloudFront put this in, ACM put this, certificate manager put this here, right here, to confirm my domain. But here, guys, we need to create a record. Okay, and we're going to choose simple routing. Go ahead and click on next. Let's define a simple record. Let's use this for now. If people go here, take them to CloudFront, CloudFront to take them to our origin. Okay, choose the endpoint. What's that endpoint going to be, guys? Load balancer or CloudFront? Quickly in the chat. CloudFront, exactly. So now let's go ahead and choose CloudFront. Okay. Okay, now we're choosing CloudFront, and then you should see your distribution. Okay, you should see your distribution. All right, choose your distribution and click on Define Simple Record. Okay, and click on Create Record. We're done. Guys, in the chat real quick, if I'm testing and I put www.mydomain.com, will it work? Quickly in the chat, yes or no? I want everyone to participate. If I go to my browser now and I type www.yescertifiedaws.com, will it work? Yes or no? Wow, everyone is saying yes. Everyone is saying yes. It's gonna work. You know what I'm gonna say? No, it's not gonna work. No, it's not gonna work. Ronnie, if you know the answer, unmute and tell us why. Ronnie, if you're here, if you agree with me, then, let me know what you think. Okay, go ahead, Ronnie.
So the A record is, there's no www.
There you go. There you go, guys. Amani, you're asking why. That is why. Ronnie just laid it out. Look, I created a record for this, so this should work, right? But guys, just trust me, that's how it works, guys. If there's anything beyond this, if there's a subdomain, maybe test.this.com, you have to add it a record and point it to where you want it to go to. A CloudFront, a load balancer, an Ec2 instance IP. Okay? So guys, we just saved you a troubleshooting headache here. Okay? Because sometimes some of your customers will type www and you don't want them to get an error message when they do that. Okay? So that's why you need to create a record for that www subdomain. So go ahead and click on simple routing again. Okay, create a record. Don't get lost. Let me just go back to where I was. Okay, we've created for this. We'll need to create another record. Create a record. Simple routing. Next, define simple record. What do we add here now, guys? Very simple. Okay, so when someone types www.yescertifiedaws.com, they're not gonna get Verizon. We could not find this address, or whatever internet provider you're using. They're not gonna say, hey, we don't know what this means. We cannot find this. So this is how you're gonna get it to work. Make sure you add the www record. Okay. What is the endpoint again? Of course, our CloudFront. The same CloudFront. Okay. Why is he saying not found? I didn't get this message before. Record type. Yeah, it's supposed to be this. CloudFront. Hold on 1 second. Let me cancel this. Route into this. Here we go, guys. Troubleshooting time. Let me just do a test here and see. Record type is correct.
Maybe it does not allow we have two type A record
Yeah.
destination to same.
I did this yesterday.
Oh.
Unless I'm missing a point somewhere. All right, let's test first. All right, fingers crossed. Okay, works. Okay, now let me close this and let me try it with you see what I'm saying, guys? You see what I'm saying? And now I don't know why it's not letting me create. Hold on, let me see if I can just copy and paste. That error message, are you guys following? That, as you can see, it should work, right? But it's not working. Let's do it one more time. One more time. It's saying it's not secure, and at the end of the day, it cannot find this. Now let's create a record for it. It is an A record.
Oh, you want to try C name?
It's coming up now, guys. What the heck? What the heck? Are they both there now? Guys, I didn't change anything. I did not change anything. Did you guys see that? I mean, did I change anything? Nothing. I guess it had to be refreshed or something. That page needed to refresh itself or something. Exactly. Could be eventual consistency. All right, guys. Fingers crossed. Let's test again. New incognito window. www. Fingers crossed, guys. I'm hoping it works. Oh, wait. There's actually a 300-second or 60-second wait. It might not work now, but I want us to. I know we're a little bit over 12 o'clock, guys, and this happened on most occasions, I should honestly say. Okay? But again, a lot of fun things to learn, right? Save you some headache on the job. You know, you're getting these hands on now. Hopefully, this will help you guys in the future, you know, to knock out your projects, you know. So let's test. Still not working. But guess what? You have to wait. You have to wait, and then it will work. Okay? We'll have to wait. But as we're waiting to test, actually, before I want someone as well to help me on your end. Let me copy it again. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I want you guys to test it with me, okay? So that I can know if it's already working on. So I'm gonna paste it in the chat, guys. Yeah, the TTL, exactly. Yeah, Grace. So someone test that and let me know if it works on your end. Really, Hiba? And you have the padlock? Do you have the padlock? All right, there you go, guys. No, I don't have my VPN on. I don't. Unless I do. Let me see. Yeah, my VPN is not on. So work. Shahid worked. Rotimi working. Okay. All right, glad to see that it worked. Let me test again, guys. Let me test again. You know what? I'm gonna try Mozilla. I think this Chrome browser has cached something, and I don't want to delete like everything. Let me use Mozilla. Okay, here's my Mozilla, and you know I'm gonna do this as well. Okay, never mind. Let me just do it just exactly, just to make sure we eliminate any type of... Are you guys seeing what I'm doing? Works. So I have to clear my cookies and my cache and all that in my Chrome browser. But I was using incognito. It should have worked. I don't know why I get that happens sometimes as well. Right? I think I have to like close the entire thing. Let's just test one more time. We're done, guys. We're done. I promise. We're done for today. Yeah, it's cached something that maybe if I restart my computer or something. But I'm glad you guys have tested, right? You all have tested, it works. HTTPS from end users, your customers, to CloudFront. You get all of those good, you know, DDoS, some level, let's say some level of DDoS protection, right? And what else, guys? Again, TCP handshake, you know, it doesn't have to do that all the time. Once it's established with the origin, you know, you get that connection and you can use. If that makes sense, you know, good. If it doesn't, don't worry. The more you keep learning, the more all these things will make sense. Floor is open. 2 questions. Actually, I can only take 1 question because I have to run. Sorry, guys. Who has a question about what we've done today? Any questions before we call it a day? This was a fun lab, right? Why need both HTTP and HTTPS listener from CloudFront to great day, my first date? You're welcome. Why need both HTTP and HTTPS listener from CloudFront to load balancer? From CloudFront to load balancer. From CloudFront to load balancer, I think we chose HTTPS only, right? We didn't choose HTTP and HTTPS or let's look at origin. No, I'm not creating origin. Yes. Who was asking that question? Shahid, do you see that? This is what you should have checked. Okay, and in our load balancer, we redirected HTTP to HTTPS. Yes. Okay. Got it. Okay, good. All right, if there are no questions, if you have questions, I'm going to count to 5 seconds. If you have questions, unmute and ask. Otherwise, we'll be ending the call in 5 seconds. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you guys have learned a lot today. It's okay if you got lost. Okay, it's okay if you got lost. Okay, just try to watch again and try to follow slowly, and hopefully you see where you missed 1 or 2 things. Okay, and you'll be able to get it to work as well. All right. 5. Any questions? Any career-related questions or anything about troubleshooting today? Ronnie, anything you want to add? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you joining me for these sessions. Next weekend, we might actually start doing hosting some other types of applications, but I'll let you guys know, right, in the flyer when I post it towards the end of before next class. Okay, so I'll see you guys next weekend, Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful, great rest of your week. Thank you. Bye. Thanks. Bye. Delete all your resources. Make sure you delete all your load balancer. Okay. Remember I made a blank statement a while back. You know, make sure you delete everything, guys. Okay. So don't always forget. Whenever we're done during the day, please load balancer, EC2, your certificate. Delete all of them. Okay. Delete. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye. Take care.